The time, Brian Myers is our next speaker. I guess we didn't think through how fine some of the print is. We will be posting the PowerPoints on the Initiative Foundation website, ifound.org, and on Central Minnesota Community Foundation's communitygiving.org within a day or two. Here you go, sir, and that's forward.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I did not serve on this committee, but I am the mouthpiece this morning, so that's my role here today. The great effort, obviously, by some very talented people here, and the whole point of this initiative is education and business partnerships that build and retain an excellent workforce. And the four messages that I want to get through this morning are these. One is that to just see the direction that's being taken by this group. Number two is the importance of the role of education and that education system in the success of the region, not only for economic reasons, but for social reasons. And so I think we all know that, but it's very important that we never forget that the educational system is a key driver of the economic and social success of our community. Third would be that we need better collaboration. One of the things about the St. Cloud region is we have unbelievable assets. That's one of the things when the people went to Dubuque, they found that Dubuque had the great assets, but St. Cloud actually had better assets. The problem was in the packaging and in the collaboration, and so that's what this effort is about. The other thing is that there's definitely a need for a centralized source, that place where you go for everything involving education and employment, and bringing employers, the workers to the employers and to the educational system. So those are the messages that I'm going to try and get across here today. The initial task of this group was to understand all the parts of the workforce pipeline. Basically, you have a pipeline or a continuum from birth to work. And so what does that look like in this community? So the first part was to find out what those assets were, and to understand what it looks like today, to see if there's gaps, to see how this thing all works together. Then also to look at how the work of the educational partners fit into the overall economic scheme. Again, we're trying at the Greater St. Cloud Development Corp to bring economic development. Well, how does the educational system fit into that? A very key element as you work with education to make sure that we're building that 21st century workforce. And determining who should be at the table. Again, it's a very complex world out there when it comes to education. So there were two projects, the first being the asset mapping of those educational organizations and services. And that educational pipeline, what does that look like from birth to work? Who are all the players? The second project was, what are the needs of the 21st century workforce? Next, in the asset mapping project, you can see here the leaders, Barry Kirchhoff from the Small Business Development Center, Rebecca Shand, MBA student. Rebecca, would you please stand up? Where are you, Rebecca? There she is. I believe she was actually the workhorse here on this thing that did most of the work. So, congratulations. Thank you so much for your hard work. The team participants, Femi Salou, SCSU MBA student, Jane Greeny Schill from St. Cloud School District 742, Sarah Dahlquist from the Initiative Foundation, Tammy DeLand, Minnesota School of Business, Elena Merton, Junior Achievement of the Upper Midwest, Rick Butte from the College of St. Scholastica, and Ann Nolan from WFC Resources, Inc. So, as you can see, a broad base of people were working on this team to do this asset mapping. And this is what the pipeline looks. And out at the registration table, I know you can't read this, but this is all available out at the registration table. And obviously, what they were doing was going through and identifying all those players from birth to work as it relates to education in our community. And obviously with this, because it's that partnership between business and education, the primary focus is on the post-secondary and the workforce connections. The asset mapping then, there was over 250 hours of work that went into compiling all this information. It identified 120 combined assets from birth to work as far as that are providing educational resources. The organizations were grouped into two types. One would be the formal education, i.e. Schools, colleges, that type of thing. And then the social, which would be like the services from United Way as an example, or Catholic Charities that are actually helping people with education in the workforce. Next would be the, I guess I covered all of that, didn't I? That's good, okay. See, I'm trying to be sensitive to time, and I'm hoping to gain us some time here if you didn't notice. So, on this slide, we show all of the different categories from birth through work. Basically, we have 38 providers in the elementary, middle school, high school, 23 in the high school, 13 in post-secondary, 21 work providers, and 22 on the birth side. So doesn't appear to be, there might be, but it doesn't appear to be that we have gaps in that continuum, so that's positive. Obviously, there's critical elements being in that birth and middle school and elementary school and high school. This is a very essential thing, and one of the things, if you think about it, St. Cloud area has some phenomenal education institutions. When you think about, you've got great programs in Chinese immersion and Spanish immersion, and you've got St. John's Prep. I mean, we've got just some unbelievable Cathedral, Sartell, Sauk Rapids, 742, plus others that are providing great educational services. So understanding what all of those things are and how we sell them also as an asset. The educational partnership obviously is a priority, so getting all these players to work together. The next steps then is to share this information more widely, get greater engagement at each level of the educational pipeline, move to the next step in asset mapping, and then linking to the other community priorities, particularly with the Greater St. Cloud Development Corp. Second project, Addie Turkowski was the lead here. What are the needs for the 21st century? Don Hickman, Kathy Zavala, Heidi, Jackie, Sharon, Shannon, Emily, and Julie. And so this was the team that worked on what does the future look like. And so here is to focus, their focus right now is to create that system that brings this together. So obviously it'll probably have something to do with the rebranding of the region that we're going to be doing, and connecting the educational resources with the work resources with the people that will take those jobs. And very complicated process, involves lots of different players, a centralized system which is sustainable. One of the things that's really key here is the arts groups did Around the Cloud. One of the things we want to do is make sure that we come up with something as robust as what the arts folks did. Arts is leading the way in terms of collaboration. The educational system needs to do the same. And to work closely with GSDC. So that's the deal.
Great. Thank you, Brian.